Thanks to these two for the suggestion. Also, thanks to all of you for subscribing and shit. We only just hit 5,000 and we're nearly at 6,000 already. So if you want to help out, share the video, tell your mum. I'm sure she'd love these. Anyway, thanks for everything, you wonderful cunts. Load up Outlast Whistleblower. Start a new game. Welcome to Poor Eyesight. You are Park, a software engineer working for a psychiatric company called Murkov. And given that you're currently being strapped to a chair and receiving gentle slaps of a man in a raincoat, I want to say you weren't very good at your job. There's some unethical experiments going on in this insane asylum involving the patients, and you were sending an email to expose them, but even though you're a software engineer who knows about computers and shit, you forgot to close the tab where you just sent the email from before leaving your laptop completely unattended to go and torture some patients. After finishing your work, you go back to your laptop to find this important looking guy. I don't know who he is. He wears a suit, so he's probably the boss man. And of course, he's reading the email you sent, which apparently didn't send because of computer things. Boss man doesn't want you to tell the world about his torturing of people because it's bad for business, and decides blunt force trauma to the head might make you forget what you've seen. When you wake up, you're strapped in that chair. I'm not sure what you're watching, but given your screams of pain, I can only assume it's one of my videos. The TVs go off and you're released from the chair alongside some other patients when a fucking ghost appears behind this guy about to unconsensually invade his bumhole. Thankfully, it turns the lights off so I get to keep my ad revenue and then leaves. I don't know why it didn't try to invade your ass. Maybe it's not plump enough. I'm not sad about it, I'm just saying. You pick up this camera, presumably to vlog the shit out of this because it's guaranteed to get views on YouTube, and a patient conveniently opens the door to your cell so you can go and look for a way out. There's been a change in management, and all the patients have escaped. It's kinda hit or miss whether they want to kill you or not, but safe to assume they probably will. While crawling around some vents, you hear a security guard talking about a radio that you could use to alert the National Guard. You just need to go and lock this security chamber, watch this guy get his face smashed into the glass, and avoid the ghost that has finally decided to take an interest in your bottom to find a guy who looks like your average League of Legends player. God, what a weirdo. I hope we don't see him again. Anyway, there's a dead guy handcuffed to this gate that happens to be the way you need to go, and last I checked, you don't have any keys on you, which means you need to look for some. Oh, it just so happens Cannibal Kevin is in bulking season and is looking for another snack. Preferably a software engineer holding a camera. You sneak around him by hiding under desks that his pathfinding code prevents him from checking, and find the keys on a dead security guard. When you're running back to the gate, Hungry Harry makes one last attempt at turning you into his next protein shake, but is apparently incapable of jumping over door frames like you, allowing you to unlock this gate and find this furnace room that he could have definitely used to cook you if he managed to catch you. Starving Steve sticks you into the furnace to cook you. I've heard he's a medium rare kind of guy, but any kind of cooking would probably hurt. So using your big strong software engineer muscles, you bash down a brick wall to escape. I sure hope we don't run into him again. That would be really bad. Okay, so it turns out the cannibal guy is more dedicated to having a taste of your ass than a Discord mod is at avoiding a shower, so sneak by him again and find the security chamber that you probably want to go through. I don't know how you know where you're going because it's not like you've been in any of these areas, but as our paid actor has demonstrated, this gas chamber is... all I'll say is Hitler would be proud. The turn the off thing for the gas is a small country away, which means you need to go on a pilgrimage to find it, and that means more unwanted encounters with the malnourished cannibal. I'm surprised his bones haven't snapped from chasing you around, since his diet literally consists of just men, so he probably has a severe calcium deficiency. Anyway, you turn the gas off and go back to the security chamber. Oh, don't worry about him, he's just really dedicated to his acting role. The security chamber takes you outside into this dark, foggy courtyard, which somehow has managed to look less appealing than a naked, angry cannibal. But you apparently don't feel fear and just wander into this place despite it probably containing several patients waiting to split you open and use your insides as spreadable jam. It's so hard to see out here that you accidentally trip on a pair of symbols and decide the best option is to follow a set of bloody hands and footprints because they are the marks of safety and will lead you to some form of escape, even if that escape is from life. I'm not sure why you don't just climb over this fence and get the fuck out of here. I mean, you've got all your footage. I'm sure you could make a banger video on YouTube now. Instead, you explore the courtyard like it's some wild safari documenting naked dudes with massive cocks and the mental asylum equivalent of Steph Curry, only to go back into the asylum because we need to find the radio and get help. You'll probably need to seek help when you get out of here too. Finally, you find the radio and are just about to contact the police when the game remembers you're a silent protagonist who's not allowed to speak. The boss man comes in like John Wick and beats the shit out of you, saying, "You should have stayed quiet, computer boy." Then he hears some shit in the distance and tells you to die and runs away. I wonder what he heard that was so scary. This absolute unit chases you, but thanks to his massive size, he's about as agile as a beached whale, and you fat shame him by sliding through a gap that's too thin for him to fit through. Now that the radio is packed in, you need to find another way out. There's an emergency evacuation in progress in the administration block, which means you have to head in that direction. I still don't know how you know which way to go, but whatever. The big guy found a way past the thin gap and is chasing you again. You jump out this window where you find an electrocated fence that you can't touch unless you turn off the power breaker. It's just down in this little basement thing. Yeah, just turn the breaker off. Don't look in any of the rooms. When you go back up, the power suspiciously comes back on again, and Whacking William has disappeared, which tells me that he is the culprit, but he's gone, so it was probably just the wind. Escape from him like everyone else you've run into by just putting as many obstacles as possible in between you and him until you find this tower that you start climbing. I feel like the administration block isn't up here. Oh, you just want to travel across the route. Okay, well, if you think you could do it. I'm guessing you didn't lay off the donuts as a kid. There's a guy in this area who somehow didn't hear your fat ass falling from the sky like an asteroid, but from what he's saying, he doesn't sound very friendly. You escape that guy by just juking the fuck out of him and go down these stairs. This next bit I would absolutely love to show, believe me, but doing so would make YouTube send my ass to the slammer, so I will describe the following events to you. Ahem. There's a man spread eagle missing his Johnson, birthing a human head, and I will never be the same again. I hate to judge a book by its cover, but whoever did this is certainly missing a few screws. I just hope that we can get through this without finding him. Somehow, this is more terrifying than the man who wanted to eat you. Our new friend here is basically looking for a wife to marry, and when you're in a sausage-fest asylum, you have to make do. You don't want to be someone's missus, so you try to avoid this epitome of nice guy syndrome by drumming into a lift shaft. Bro, would it have killed you to eat healthily in your life? Fat bastard. As if being chased by a man who would try to wear your skin given the opportunity was bad, your leg is in about as good shape as you are. Because you're fat. You reach a dead end as this prick is chasing you, and with no other options, hide in a locker. I'm surprised you fit in there, to be honest. Bro guy isn't stupid despite making Leatherface look like a contributing member of society, and finds you. Doesn't kill you since that's not his angle. He just wants to start a family with you, so drags you into the safest looking room in the world. You get roofied and watch a load of people get murdered, which is just so romantic. After a while, it's finally your turn, and once again, I can't really show too much because I can feel YouTube breathing down my neck with their finger on the demonetize button. Pretty much, he wants to make a place for him to, you know. And apparently the only tool for that job is, you guessed it, a saw. Fortunately, some guy comes in and attacks him just as the bristles of your two veg are receiving a light trim, and you're able to escape while he chases down whoever interrupted his ritual. This guy then chases you. I say chase, but you have the movement speed of an injured snail because your ankle's in bits, which isn't made better when you throw yourself out of a window, but honestly, I don't blame you. Better to lose the ankle than your precious peen. Somehow you've managed to find the exit gate to the administration block. You just need to find a key for it and go into what I assume is Stalker Man's storage room. You find the key at the end of this, like, wedding scene, which I guess was supposed to be a trap since your fiance appears. This guy's traps would work better if he knew how to move faster than a brisk walk. Despite your ankle consisting mostly of dust at this point, you slowly hobble to the exit gate, the smell of freedom in the air. Nothing can stop you now. Yeah, he finally catches you and beats you like he's Chris Brown. I assume he thinks this is some lover's quarrel and decides to solve it by executing you via hanging like you're a medieval housewife, but finally, after what feels like days, your enormous weight saves you. The sheer force your existence puts out is too much for him, and after a bit of struggle, some stuff happens, I don't know, and yeah, he's not looking good. But who cares about him? You're free now and can unlock the gate to the administration block. On the way, you see the army is here, which would be good if you weren't dressed like this had been your home for the past 5 years. You find your way to the main entrance where you see a familiar face. It's Boss Man, but he's looking in worse nick than you and won't be able to stop you from leaving. Sneak attack! He was faking it. I don't know how he knew you'd survive, but that doesn't matter when you've been stabbed. Just as Boss Man is about to finish the job, the ghost from the start kills him. I feel like the developers forgot about that until now because we haven't seen him for the entire game, and once again, the ghost shows no interest in your ass, which I'm still not sad about. I'm just saying. Even though you were just stabbed in the stomach, you get it with no issues, and with no one in your way, you walk out the entrance to look for a way home. Fuck me, whoever owns this car is an idiot. They left the bloody keys in the ignition. As you're about to pull away, you see a person limping towards you. It looks like whoever that is being possessed by the ghost, but that's not your problem. You nearly got your balls chopped off as you complete Outlast Whistleblower.